All right, Robinhood Ventures is here. You can go to the Robinhood app and there's probably a card on your home screen where you can click on it and it'll take you to this. Or you can probably look under IPOs and you can find it there, or just search for the word Ventures. And you'll find the Robinhood Ventures Fund 1. So this is going to be a ticker symbol RVI. They're planning to list this on the New York Stock Exchange at the end of February 2026 on 2/26/2026. So the plan here is they're going to list at $25 and they're going to have 40 million shares. So this fund is going to be worth $1 billion. Okay, and it's a closed-end fund, which means that from the very start, this is what the fund is going to contain. It's going to contain 40 million shares, and that's it. So it's fixed. So there's no share dilution in the future. There's no stock splitting or reverse stock splitting. Like, that's how many shares there's going to be. And so if the companies they invest in go up in value over time, this fund should also go up in value. And if one of their companies they invest in decides to go public, then since RVI owns a portion of that company and now it's public, it would likely go up in value for the fund. So if you own some of this fund, it's kind of like owning a little bit of that specific company's IPO if they ever go public. Like for example, Databricks, if they go public and then they just take off in value, you don't actually own Databricks, but you're like still exposed to if they go up or down. And if they go public, it's probably going to go up. So anyway, that is how that closed-end fund works, kind of like an ETF. And we have some of the companies you can see there that they're investing in. You'll get exposure to Databricks, Revolut, Mercor, Airwallex, Boom, Supersonic, Oura, and Ramp. And after RVI goes public, they plan on acquiring some shares of Stripe Inc. So all of these companies so far listed are private companies. And that's what this whole thing is about, where you can invest in private companies without having to put down like thousands and thousands of dollars and being an accredited investor, blah, blah, blah. So it's a nice way for you to just gain a little exposure if you want to these private companies without actually owning them. So hopefully you get some exposure to their gains. And you can request shares of RVI just like any other IPO. That's the way it's set up. Now, on the one hand, most of these in this portfolio are software stocks. So you might be thinking, oh, great, software, like that's been getting hit bad lately. For example, Stripe, Revolut, Airwallex, and Ramp, they're all fintech. So they can do, say, like savings accounts, and you can send money back and forth internationally. They do just different stuff with money, kind of like a bank would do, payments processing. But most of these companies listed are valued at either almost $1 billion or an up. So over 10 years ago, private companies, if they were valued at $1 billion, they would be considered a unicorn. But now there's a lot more unicorns in the world. There's like over 1,000 worldwide. So now they came up with a new term called decacorn. And most of these companies on this list are considered decacorns. So instead of unicorn for $1 billion, decacorn for 10. Most of these are valued at least $10 billion. So for these other companies, we have Databricks. So what they do is offer like AI, machine learning solutions, data analytics, all that good stuff. But one advantage they have is that the company using Databricks, they aren't locked into, say, like Amazon's AWS, and they're not locked into Google or Microsoft, because you can change the backend to that on the software, but the user interface, so what you see, is still familiar Databricks interface. So you're not locked into any one company on the back end for the cloud storage, as well as servers. So that part's nice. Mercor, they recruit and connect like AI experts, well, like people who are experts in a certain field who can train AI and connect that with different businesses. That one, like, I understand how they make money, but there's also lots of competition in that space, I feel like, so they're not that special to me. Same thing with Oura. Like, those, I'm sure you've seen those ads before where, like, you put the ring on, it can track your sleep and health statistics and all that. But I'm thinking, you know, while the ring's a cool idea, I mean, we already have Apple Watches and Google smartwatches that can do that, plus have apps and play music and answer phone calls and whatever, and do so much more than what a ring can. So I'm not too keen on that company. But then Boom Supersonic is a pretty cool idea. They're going to bring back supersonic travel. So in the 60s and 70s, like, we had supersonic jets, and the military was testing those and actually caused millions of dollars in damage. People were not happy having their windows broken with sonic booms overhead. So the government banned supersonic flight over land. So then you get these supersonic airplanes like the Concorde, famous supersonic jet. Although they couldn't fly over land, they could fly in between, say, like New York and London, cutting time by a lot, but it was kind of for basically only wealthy clients, and there's not that many supersonic jets. And plus, like, the Concorde was retired in 2003, which is soon after 9/11, with that happening, and flights dropped dramatically. There's also a crash in France, and so they just went away with the supersonic jets. But with Boom Supersonic, they're coming back. And also recently, last year, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order directing the FAA to get rid of their ban on the supersonic flights over land, because these jets these days can be designed with like a long nose and some other things, as well as flying at a certain speed and altitude where, if it's just right and still being over Mach 1, just a little over the speed of sound, like normally it would create a sonic boom and it could cause havoc on the ground. But if it's at a certain speed and a certain height, the boom travels downward, but then as it goes through the layers of the atmosphere with different temperature differences, it actually refracts and it bounces off the atmosphere and heads up towards space. So no one on the ground will ever hear a supersonic boom. So the laws are being changed as we speak on solidifying that, yeah, as long as they don't violate the boom laws, then they can go ahead and fly over land. And they already have over 100 orders and pre-orders for their supersonic jets, so that's a good sign. People can fly business class, for now at least, over the ocean, and in the future, say like between New York and LA in 3.5 hours. So here's the allocation of the fund. We have Databricks, and they talk about specific series that they're invested in. Revolut, Mercor, Airwallex, Boom Supersonic, Oura, Ramp, holding 20% in cash. And then you can see these little videos that will be unlocked over the days or the coming week before RVI goes public. And then you can read through those facts to learn more about how this works. And of course, I recommend you read the prospectus. So what do you think? Do you like their basket of stocks they picked? Are you going to request any shares of this RVI IPO? Let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content, please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.